As we speak, Justin Trudeau has said that the threat issued by the Khalistani leader, Pan, Canada would be looking into it. And we know that what happened between India and Canada a few months ago, since the killing of Niger. So this scenario of Khalistani terror, we have seen the offshoots in Australia as well. How does that part of the world see? Is it just centric to the Sikh population, or there is more support that is in the offing, both in Canada or Australia?
Okay, so there's a whole lot of different points here, but I'll just try and put it in very simplistic terms. First thing is that most of the local Australians of all walks of life who may have come from all sorts of countries don't know the dynamics very well about India.
Right.
And I picked this up very well when I looked at the Canadian media. If you see the local, typical Caucasian media talking amongst themselves in Canada, they have very little understanding or appreciation of what's going on. So basically you have a community from Punjab, which is very vocal, very dynamic, and very outgoing. And then you have the rest of the Indian community in Canada or Australia, who's just minding their own business, getting on with what they do.
Okay.
Which is fair enough. Every community in India is different. They have a different cultural background, different language, different food. There are so many things different about them. But where does Canada and where does Australia differ?
Right.
Justin Trudeau has said, to the face of the world media, we follow the rule of law. I challenge that view. Look at Australia. Australia does something which is quite unique. And I support this full-heartedly, and I'd like Canada to follow this. And also, as people are now migrating back to India, India could also encompass this.
Right.
And what this is that, you see, when you migrate to Australia or when you come on a visa to Australia, there's a declaration. And if you have any criminal history, you must declare it, or you must attach a certificate. If you don't declare it, and if you hide it, regardless of whether you be a tourist, a permanent resident, or you become a citizen, and later on we find out, there are grounds to cancel your visa, cancel your citizenship, and deport you. If you declare it honestly, explain the situation, and we can see that it's just something that was one chapter in your life, so that's an open declaration, then you're fine.
Okay.
Right?
Which Canada failed to do in case of Niger.
Now, Canada doesn't do it.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. Have a look at Canada. Go to any education agent in Southeast Asia and say to them, I've got a son or daughter who would like to study abroad. We'll take a simple example.
Right. And
I would like them to study in an advanced economy. It could be Canada, Australia, UK, United States.
very common case in India.
Very common.
Yeah.
And then the agent looks at all the papers and says, but look, I'm sorry, their grades are not good enough. They can't get into this course. The rules in Australia or UK are too strict now. But if you have the money, everything's open in Canada.
Oh. So
And it's in
that's
common
the way.
knowledge. The Canadians have to get their act together. They have to get involved in their education system with students arriving. They have to get involved with their granting of permanent residence. And they have to get, yes, immigration and citizenship. And they have to respect the fact that people coming from another nation may bring with them things that they did wrong in another nation. So if I did something drastically wrong in India, got myself a fake name, fake passport, go to India, go to Canada, do a few applications, they all fail, then pay a whole lot of money, put it through the court systems, and lo and behold, I become a citizen. Suddenly I'm whitewashed clean. This is completely wrong. Yeah, and this is what the Canadians are not getting. Stop bothering the Americans, the Australians, and the Brits. Get your own system together. And of course, the sad part about this is that most Canadians are not involved in this. It's a very niche market that actually deals with this. So most Canadians wouldn't have this sort of awareness or know that this is what's been happening. And it's been happening since Indira Gandhi. I mean, people think that when Indira Gandhi asked for that terrorist to be returned to India and Justin Trudeau's father refused, that there was just one explosion in an aeroplane. There was actually two. The second one, they got the time wrong, and two poor Japanese baggage handlers in Japan lost their lives. So the Canadians have serious issues with the way they treat new migrants migrating to the country. And look to Australia.